As we view Jerusalem, the land of the Israelites, the people of the Bible, we see the modern Jews, Khazars, of Ashkenazi ancestry, occupying and ruling a part of what is referred to as the Promised Land. We are always bombarded with images and videos of the rabbis bowing back and forth at what many call the Wailing Wall. It was believed that the Wailing Wall was a part of the original Second Temple, but this is a complete deception to deceive the masses. So let's start at the beginning, when the first temple was built. According to the Bible, Solomon's temple, also known as the first temple, was the holy temple in ancient Jerusalem before its destruction by Nebuchadnezzar after the siege of Jerusalem, and its subsequent replacement with the second temple in the 6th century BCE, invasion and conquest. In 587 BC, the Babylonians conquered the southern kingdom of Judah and destroyed the temple, the first temple, in Jerusalem, and took many Israelites to Babylonia as prisoners. In 539 BC, King Cyrus of Persia conquered Babylonia, and he allowed the Israelite exiles to return to Judah the next year. The Israelites then rebuilt their temple, the second temple. Cyrus the Great, king of Persia, in the 6th century BC, announced in the first year of his reign that he was prompted by Elohim to make a decree that the temple in Jerusalem should be rebuilt. Ezra chapter 1 verse 2. Cyrus sent the Israelites under his rule back to Israel with the considerable sum of money with which to rebuild the temple. In 63 BC, the Romans conquered Judah, also called Judea, and made it a Roman province. The Roman rule was so harsh that many Israelites left Judea to escape its domination. The Israelites revolted in 66 AD and drove out the Romans for a brief time, but in 70 AD, the Roman general Titus conquered Jerusalem, destroyed the second temple, and took many Israelite captives to Rome. A memorial called the Ark of Titus in Rome symbolizes the Roman victory over the Israelites. The Western Wall in Jerusalem, known as the Wailing Wall, is all what many believe that remains of the ancient temple. Matthew chapter 24 verse 1 and 2. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Wait a minute. The Wailing Wall has many stones. So, did I just hear the Mashiach say that there would not be one stone upon another? The passage in Matthew 24 is about the end of the world. So he's obviously talking about in the end of the world, it won't be one stone upon another. So why are we seeing this Wailing Wall then with all of these stones? The Wailing Wall has more than 10,000 stones that are still standing today. How in the world could the Messiah make such a prophecy, right? And we know this prophecy was true. So what's going on? I'm going to show you. When he said there shall not be one stone upon another, he was right. So then this Wailing Wall, what is it? I'm going to show you what it is. Okay. Titus, the Roman general, looked on the ruins after the Jewish war in 70 AD and the description of what he saw was very instructive in the book of Josephus, right? And Josephus and Titus were both eyewitnesses. Listen to what Josephus had to say.
Josephus stated, "And truly, the very view itself was a melancholy thing. For those places which were adorned with trees and pleasant gardens were now become desolate country every way, and its trees were all cut down. Nor could any foreigner that had formerly seen Judea and the most beautiful suburbs of the city, and now saw it as a desert, but lament and mourn sadly at so great a change. For the war had laid all signs of beauty quite waste, nor had anyone who had known the place before had come on a sudden to it now, and he have known it again. But though he, a foreigner, were at the city itself, yet would he have inquired for it." War 6:1-1.
Josephus mentions the other ruin of the temple and the city of Jerusalem. This is why most modern scholars and religious authorities believe that the descriptions of the demolition of Jerusalem by Josephus and Titus as being outlandish exaggerations. Josephus was not exaggerating. Josephus stated that the Romans set fire to the extreme parts of the city, the suburbs, and burnt them down and entirely demolished its walls. Jerusalem's walls. That's written in the book of Josephus. Josephus also mentions that when Titus entirely demolished the rest of the city and overthrew its walls, there it is again, he left these towers as a monument of his good fortune, which had proved the destructive power of his auxiliaries, and enabled him to take what could not otherwise have been taken by him. That's also recorded in the book of Josephus.
Luke chapter 19, verses 41-45. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, If thou hadst known, even thou, at the least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. For the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. And he went into the temple, and began to cast out them that sold therein, and them that bought.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 34-39. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets, and wise men, and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias the son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them that are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of Yahuwah. Matthew chapter 24, verse 15 and 16. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Let them that be in Judea flee into the mountains. Jerusalem is where? In Judea. So he's basically prophesying, telling you what's going to happen in the last days, right? And he's telling them that because Jerusalem, because Yah's people dwelling in Judea and Jerusalem have done this wickedness, have killed the prophets, he said, now all the righteous blood is going to come upon you. That's why he said there won't be one stone upon another, right? But we see these stones. We're going to get to that about these stones, okay?
Daniel chapter 9 verses 24 through 27. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
This passage actually sounds like it's talking about when Yahusha, the Messiah, was crucified, and the people of the prince that shall come, talking about Caesar and Titus, that gave orders to the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD.
Now there's much information being put out there about the third temple or the rebuilding of the temple. There's talks right now that they are attempting to do that, rebuild the third temple. And a lot of people are excited. They feel like this is some type of prophecy being fulfilled. This is because most people have never really studied these things out. They don't understand all of the context surrounding the first or the second temple. And so therefore, when they hear that the Jewish people are talking about rebuilding the third temple, everyone's excited. Oh, this is the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. Oh, this, oh, that. But when you really take a closer look at what's actually happening, you will see all of the deception that is coming at us. And the Bible warned us that in the last days that there would be much deception. And so these are the things that we must look for. And you have to study to show yourself approved. You have to look at these things. You have to analyze these things and make sure that what is being told to you is actually the truth. Because through Christianity, so many false doctrines have been circulated. Christianity has us believing all kinds of things. I mean, think about the whole concept of the rapture. They wrapped it all up in several movies, okay? One of the most famous movies was the Left Behind series. And in the Left Behind series, they had you thinking that millions of people were just going to vanish just into thin air with the twinkling of an eye. All of these people were going to be whisked away, and all of these car crashes and airplane crashes and people just vanishing because they were these righteous, holy people that were going to be raptured to heaven. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. When you really look at the Bible and what it talks about as far as the catching away, it is not what the Christians have presented to the world at all. Nothing even close to it. The majority of the people in the world today, especially those who they believe are going to be raptured away, are going to be left behind for real. When you take a look at all of the different doctrines that have been circulated, you will understand why it's very important that you also get an understanding on this third temple doctrine. And you will begin to see very clearly the deceptions that are just very, very obvious. Hopefully through this documentary here, you will understand or have a better, more clear understanding of the deception surrounding the rebuilding of the third temple.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and a man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he, as Elohim, sitting in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Paul states in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7, he states that the mystery of iniquity was already working in his time. What is this mystery of iniquity? The man of sin sitting in the temple. What is he talking about here? Revelations chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Arise, and measure the temple of Elohim, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not. For it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. Wait a minute. It's given to the Gentiles? For how long? 42 months? That's 3.5 years. Pay attention. Give it to the Gentiles for 3.5 years. What part is given to the Gentiles? The court of the temple is given to the Gentiles. Now pay attention. In Revelations chapter 11, verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. Now that's another 3.5 years. Okay. Now what's going on here with these scriptures? I'm going to show you. Okay. So now let's go to when we're talking about the harvest. Because the harvest in Revelation 14 is going to bring it all together, sort of. So I want you to pay attention, okay? Revelation chapter 14, verse 14 through 17. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud. And upon the cloud was one like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, and he also having a sharp sickle. Now pay attention. You have one temple that is in heaven, and the other is on earth. Okay, so now he thrusts his sickle. Now pay attention. The holy place is referring to where? Jerusalem. This is referring to Jerusalem. Now, pay attention. So when he said that you will see the abomination of desolation stand in the holy place, what are you talking about? Now notice when they started came up with this false image of JC, right? This false image of Jesus, okay? Notice they took a homosexual Neanderthal called Jesus and placed him where? In the holy place. When they started doing these movies, some of these movies was actually filmed over in Jerusalem, right? Using who? A false image. A man playing the role of a false image, right? And they declare that he is what? This false image and his name, they declare that he is what? The son of Elohim, and even Elohim himself. This is what they preach, right? This is what they teach, right? And we know this is a false image and a false name. Where? In the holy place. Now, I want to bring your attention to this article here about the Sanhedrin. It's titled, "The Sanhedrin Asks Trump and Putin to Build the Third Temple." In late January 2017, the re-established Sanhedrin, which was reborn in 2005, sent a letter to the United States President Trump, blessing him and challenging him to take the lead in restoring America and the world. Okay, restoring America and the world, right? The Sanhedrin urged Trump to bring back family values and to lead the war against radical Islamic terror. It also sent letters in mid-November 2016 to both Vladimir Putin of Russia and then President-elect Donald Trump, asking them to take up their Cyrus-like roles to help build the third temple. Wait a minute. The Sanhedrin? The Sanhedrin was a council of Jews that came together. And if you know your history, it was the Sanhedrin in the scriptures that took counsel to have the Messiah crucified. So wait a minute. The same council is now, they done rebirth the Sanhedrin council. Why? So that they can rebuild the third temple? Wow. So now, where are we going with this? You see, there's so many lies concerning this whole issue of what we're talking about here. The third temple. Okay, this third temple. And the lie that the Wailing Wall is what's remaining of the second temple. This is all a big lie. I'm going to show you why. Okay, pay attention. Are you aware that according to various writers, the temple was actually completely destroyed? I want to share this with you. So then, what are these walls that are still standing if it's not the temple? Because it can't be the temple. If you do your research, you'll discover that the walls are indeed not the temple at all. As a matter of fact, the walls you see in Jerusalem are actually a part of Fort Antonia. Fort Antonia was a fort that was built by the Roman Empire so that they would have a place to rule Jerusalem. And it was attached right to Jerusalem. That was their wall. That's why they left it standing. It was a part of their fort. But we have these Christians and we have these Jews pushing the lie that this is a part of the second temple. The Wailing Wall is a part of the second temple. This is one big, huge lie. And it was a big lie so they get funds from people all over the world. Hey, we're the people, we're wailing at the wall. Look, we're crying at the wall, bowing back and forth every day at the wall. Which, it's not the wall, that's Roman property. That was a fort that was set up in Jerusalem by the Roman Empire. And we see them bowing back and forth at this Roman monument. So what did that tell you about them? Maybe they are truly Romans. We know that the Romans are Edom. Interesting, huh?
Now, I can remember as a Christian when I would see the Jewish people over at the Wailing Wall. I thought that was something just so beautiful to behold. I felt like these are people worshiping their God, and that some of them would open their eyes to the truth. And there were these prayers that were going forth that the Jewish people would open their eyes and begin to accept Hamashiach, or the Messiah, Jesus Christ as the world called him. Okay, and seeing them at the Wailing Wall meant something. But when you understand the deception surrounding even that, you say, wow, so much deception. The Bible told us that in the last days that knowledge was going to be greatly increased. And so that is what we see happening. So now when I look at them at the Wailing Wall, I see the deception in that. And I see that they are not actually the people or the ancient people of that region. They are Jewish converts into Judaism, but they are not the descendants of the tribes of Jacob. Okay, that is one of the narratives that have been pushed for so long. So when you think Wailing Wall, Third Temple, the Jewish people that are there today in the land talking about rebuilding the Third Temple, the majority of the people in this world are looking at it like some type of unfolding of biblical prophecy. But those in the know, those who understand what the Bible talks about the great deceptions of the world, about the replacing of his true people, how his true people are going to awaken from their slumber. When you understand those things, then you see the Wailing Wall for what it really truly is. It is part of the deception. It's part of the thing that had so many eyes closed for a very long time. But eyes are starting to open. Okay, the truth has gotten out there, and even some of the Jewish people themselves are starting to declare this truth. Okay, there are a number of Jewish people who have spoken to the real and true descendants of Jacob, being those so-called Negroes who have been sent into captivity to the four corners of the world, just like the Bible prophesied. They are even starting to reach out to some of them. So the cat is out of the bag. So now we see the Wailing Wall for what it is. It was part of the deception.
It's time for us now to get smart and quit running after all these doctrines that are coming forth. Doctrines that got us to get people getting so excited about this third temple, y'all, third temple. This is proof. It's time, y'all. It's time. No, you better leave that third temple thing alone. Because let me say something. Yah is not about to let these wicked people build the third temple. He is not about to let them build his temple. Let me say something to you. I want you to listen to me on this, right? When he commissioned Cyrus, he had Cyrus give the money to the people of Yah so that they could build the third temple. Cyrus didn't put his hand on building anything. Are you with me on that? Are you understanding this? Huh? Are you getting this? Yah is not about to allow these wicked people to build his temple. You understand me? They may build a temple, but I guarantee you it is not going to be Yah's temple. Because when Yah's temple get built, his people are going to build that temple, not some heathens. Hallelujah. Wake up, Israel. Yah's people, Israel. Not these imposters. Shalom.